So when we fall down, we get up again. We don't get stuck there. We don't stay there. And that's the story of this farm. That's the story of my experience with maize. I'm on a 400-acre farm that I do with someone. Now this is a breeder farm. What does a breeder farm mean? A breeder farm means that I produce day-old chicks that I do sell on the market, yeah? So produce day-old broilers and layers, sell them on the market, and farmers raise these chicks, either produce eggs or meat, depending on whatever their goal is, yeah? Now, because of that, the uptake of maize on the farm is actually quite a lot, yeah? I have to use a lot of maize on the farm. I'd say quite an amount of maize. So what I tried to do initially was that we decided to plant a lot of maize on the farm, yeah? So we decided, since we have 400 acres of maize, we have the bottom part of the farm, which is the side, and we have the top side of the farm, which is where I'm standing right now. Now, the bottom side is quite notoriously waterlogged, yeah? So at the beginning, we didn't really know that it gets that waterlogged, so we decided to plant quite an amount of maize at the bottom of the farm. Maybe about 100 and something acres of maize. And guys, it was really terrible, really terrible. The place got flooded. We barely got anything out of the maize, and honestly, we made proper losses. Now, the next season, we decided to try it out with another section of the farm, which is a bit on the upper side, not this exact area, and we got a bit of maize. We're like, whoa, that's actually quite good. So then what happened is that the very next season, we decided to plant this section, you know, this upper section of the farm. Now, this upper section of the farm is also quite a lot. It's where we do have our chicken houses. I don't know if you guys can see some. There's a frame of a house, but behind that, there's another chicken house, yeah? So we decided to plant on this section, and I can tell you that things didn't turn out well. Yeah, so this time the sun came and properly burnt the maize. Yeah, so the maize grew properly, nicely, and then it reached the point where it's supposed to be flowering, and the sun just decided to come. It was proper sunshine, it just burnt the maize. We barely got anything. I got very distraught, and at that point I told myself that, hey, I think, you know, I need to give up on this thing called maize. I personally believe in learning from your mistakes, yeah? So if you do something and it doesn't do well, learn what the mistake is, what you can control or not control about it, and find a way of improving it, yeah? So for me, for example, on the farm right here, our biggest problem is the unreliability of the weather. Well, at first it was two problems. The water that would flood the bottom of the farm, but that one we just decided that we shall never plant at the bottom of the farm because it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But the second one is the unreliable rains, yeah? The unreliable rains really became a problem. So because of that, we decided that, hey, instead of, you know, planting when the rains are unreliable or anything like that, let's just forget about the maize. That's what I thought to myself, yeah? I was telling myself that, you know, let me just buy maize when the prices are low and then store and utilize when the prices are high. Now, that also comes with its problem, yeah? Because I've done it a few times. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out, yeah? So a few times it does work out, and you know, you do really well when the price of maize drops properly, yeah? I mean, sometimes the price of maize drops properly. For example, last year, the price of maize was generally not bad, yeah? But this year, for example, the price of maize failed to drop, you know, significantly enough where we can say, you know, that there's a huge impact. We can clearly see that the price of maize has dropped significantly enough. That has failed to happen this year. Now, that makes me wonder, you know, what should I be doing? What the hell should we be doing? So because of that, and the fact that we do have a lot of land, I mean, you guys can just see, when you look around me, yeah, all you can see is land, a lot of land. And a lot of people grow maize and they can't get the land. We've told ourselves that let's try it again, yeah? Because what happened after that is that the very last season, which is the season towards the end of the year, we planted maize, not so big, not so many acres, and we got quite a bumper harvest, quite a really good harvest. So we have told ourselves that we're going to gamble again, guys, and that's exactly what we are doing. So I'll just show you guys. So you can see it right here, okay? I'll just try and zoom in. Can you see the maize? That is maize. You see all that? That is maize, yeah? So all this, we planted maize in all this, as you see it, as far as your eyes can see in that distance. And a lot of this does have maize, yeah? So I'll just cross over. So we do have quite an amount of weeds actually in here already. Yeah, so you can see, because we were having cattle grazing in here and things like that, we do have quite some weeds, but you can see that, that's maize, for example. That over there is maize, that over there is maize, and it has germinated. A lot of it has germinated, which is actually quite impressive. Yeah, so you might be wondering, what the hell are we going to do with the weeds? Well, the guys are going to start weeding, so we're going to weed using hose, and in some other places we're just going to spray chemicals. And we are lucky that since it's a poultry farm, we have quite an amount of manure coming from the poultry houses, so we place it in the garden. So we are hoping that, at some point we're going to have really, really good maize. Now, I don't know if I can zoom in quite far away in the distance, if you guys can notice the tractor moving. Yeah, there's a tractor right there in the distance moving. So he's trying to plow. Maybe I'll move a bit closer. Okay, right there you can see it. Okay, that's the tractor. You can see the area that we are plowing. So this other side, we are trying to replow it. We plowed it a while back, but we are trying to replow it. Yeah, you can see him over there in the distance, trying to clear up the place, just like this other side. So this side also, this section hasn't been plowed. We'll probably just move a little bit further out. But you can see that just this morning he was trying to clear up this area, because tomorrow we are having a group of people who are going coming in, maybe 30 or so people who are going to help us to plant. Now you might wonder why we are not using a planter. It's because the place is not like nicely leveled and things like that, so we can't use a planter. It would be impossible for us to use a planter on a place which is not like perfectly leveled, but we are hoping that this will do. Yeah, so hopefully by tomorrow he's going to have cleared quite a huge amount of this area, and then we shall be able to plant maybe 6-7 acres tomorrow on the farm. So the biggest expense by far when it does come to the farm is the poultry feed. And the biggest expense when it does come to poultry feed is the maize. Yeah. So I mean, consistently I'm fluctuating between planting and not planting maize. But land is like our biggest resource here, honestly. A lot of people long for it. A lot of people wish they had it, and they don't have it, and we do have it. And I think we would honestly be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't try. The main reason why I have problems with growing maize is because of the lack of control. The sunshine that comes sometimes. Now last time, like I said, the last season we didn't plant too much and we got a lot. We are hoping that we're not going to get the opposite this season. We are praying and believing God that we're going to get the very best results this season. As you can see, we are trying to prepare our garden. It's already raining. Some places we've already planted, some places we are still preparing and hoping to plant tomorrow. We're doing our best and praying that we get the very best results, so that we are not very late. Yeah, so that we are not very late, so that everything grows out and comes out nicely. But for example, we would love to irrigate. If you can't irrigate, then again you have a lot out of your control. But we don't have a system that would enable us to irrigate all this farm. It's impossible. We don't have it right now. All that comes with money, and we're hoping that someday we'll probably have the money to do that. But otherwise, in the meantime, we'll just keep trying, guys. We'll just keep trying, and I want to be updating you guys with this maize project. I mean, considering how it will do. We now do have rain. We hope the rains stay and they don't disappear. And we are lucky again that we do have manure. So that's something that's readily available. Let's just hope for the best, guys. We are trying maize again this season, and we're going to hope for the best. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell. That way you never miss out on an upload. Catch you very soon with another video. That's a love. Bye-bye.